Okay, let's dive right into today's explainer. We're exploring the vivid narrative and vocabulary used in the children's text, The Story of God's Beautiful World. Now, what's really fascinating here is how it takes this massive, grand cosmic event and distills it into these super accessible, structured learning moments. We're going to break down the specific imagery, the pacing, and an integrated vocabulary word bank that guides the reader right through the foundational steps of creation. So the text kicks things off with a classic narrative hook, a time long, long ago. It establishes this completely black canvas that's just waiting to be transformed. I mean, imagine starting a story with absolute sensory deprivation. It's completely dark and it's completely quiet. By doing this, the author builds up this incredible sense of total anticipation. But even within that quiet nothingness, a wonderful plan is already in motion. It's symbolized by just a single, tiny, warm light glowing right there in the middle of the darkness. It is such a powerful way to set the stage for something massive. Which brings us to our first section, the first spark of light, chasing the darkness. This sets up a brilliantly vivid visual contrast right out of the gate. We start in that initial state, right? Complete dark and quiet nothingness. And then bam, a massive shift to explosive, sparkling light, bursting out almost like fireworks. The text literally notes that this bright, sparkling light actively chases away the darkness. It's just an incredibly dynamic way to describe the origin of the world. It uses imagery that's energetic and instantly recognizable to. And the whole narrative officially kicks off with that iconic command, "Let there be light." Now, what's really engaging here is that this spoken command is paired in the text with a fantastic whoosh sound effect. By adding that whoosh, it really emphasizes the sudden, rushing brightness just flooding the scene. This initial burst of light is then categorized, creating the concepts of day and night, and officially establishing the very first day of our timeline. This brings us to a crucial concept from the text's word bank, which perfectly captures the essence of this first day. The word is create. The text defines it as to make something completely new and wonderful. So this isn't just, assembling some existing pieces. It's about bringing something totally new into existence out of that quiet nothingness we just talked about. It really grounds the reader in the central theme of the entire story. Moving right along to section 2, building the beautiful world, shaping the earth. Now notice how rapidly the text sequences the environmental creation across the second and third days, really bringing lush colors into the narrative. We get this clear 3-step progression. Step 1 gives us the grand boundaries, a deep blue sea and a big blue sky. Step 2 introduces solid footing, as dry ground appears basically with the wave of a hand. And then step 3 just explodes with color and life. Green grass, colorful flowers, and tall trees pop up everywhere. That specific phrasing, pop up, gives the whole environment this magical, almost instant energy. The source material uses a really joyful exclamation to mark the successful completion of the Earth's foundational layers before we look upward. Wow, this is good! It acts as this neat little narrative checkpoint. After laying down the oceans, the sky, the land, and the plants, there's a moment to just step back, admire the work, and acknowledge that the foundation is solid and beautiful. The story then shifts over to the 4th day, looking up from the lush ground to the heavens above. The text explains that the sky is now decorated. We get a bright sun specifically designated to shine during the day, and a cozy moon and twinkling stars to light up the night. I absolutely love how the text describes the stars here. It playfully compares them to shiny diamonds in the sky. It provides a highly relatable and beautiful visual analogy to help picture that night sky. And that connects perfectly to our second word bank term, explicitly teaching the reader how to describe that cozy night sky we just saw. Twinkle. The definition provided is to shine with a flickering or sparkling light, just like the stars. By tying the vocabulary directly back to the narrative imagery of those shiny diamonds, the source material just beautifully reinforces the whole learning process. That takes us to section 3, animals and humans, filling the world. To bring things to life, the text uses highly expressive onomatopoeia, think splash and tweet tweet, to introduce an incredibly diverse and energetic list of living creatures. I mean, look at the variety here. The ocean is filled with swimming fish and giant whales making a massive splash. The air is filled with singing birds going tweet tweet. Then the dry land is populated with this fantastic mix of fluffy bunnies, tall giraffes, and roaring lions. The use of these specific adjectives, fluffy, tall, roaring, really paints a picture and brings each animal to life in the reader's mind. There's a specific blessing in the story that highlights the underlying theme of happiness and abundance characterizing all these animals. When the sea and sky creatures are made, they're given a specific blessing: fill the world with joy. It goes to show that the purpose of all these splashing whales and singing birds isn't just to exist. No, they are meant to actively bring joy and life to these newly created environments. The climax of the creation sequence introduces the most special creation of all: humans. Specifically, the text names Adam and Eve. Now, what's totally vital here is the role they are assigned. They aren't just plopped down into the world to wander around aimlessly. They are given an explicit purpose. They're made to be best friends with their creator, and they're given the job to take care of this beautiful world. It introduces this core concept of responsibility and stewardship right at the peak of the narrative. And finally, Section 4, the perfect day of rest, a day of peace. Our final word bank term describes the exact state of the world as viewed on the seventh day of the narrative: perfect. The source material defines this as excellent, complete, and without any mistakes. After 6 days of non-stop action, light fireworks, rapid plant growth, and splashing whales, the work is evaluated one last time, and it meets the absolute highest possible standard. It is entirely complete. Stepping back for a second, we can see the complete chronological arc we just went through. It begins on day 1 with light chasing away the dark. By day 3, we see the rapid layering of the sky, sea, land, and plants. Day 4 decorates the sky with the sun, moon, and stars. Day 6 brings the world completely to life with animals and humans. And finally, because everything was perfect and complete, day 7 concludes the sequence, not with more creation, but with a deep breath and a special day of peace and rest. It honestly gives the narrative such a beautiful, calming resolution. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought inspired by the story's conclusion. The text explicitly tells us that humans were made to take care of this beautiful, perfect world. So, inviting you to reflect on what stewardship looks like in our own lives today. Based on this story, what does taking care of a beautiful world mean to you? How do we apply that original, ancient purpose to our modern lives? It's a really fascinating question to ponder as we close out our structured look at the story of God's beautiful world. Keep seeking out the deeper structure in the stories you read and keep learning.